Okay, let's unpack this. We're diving into Meshy AI today. This is the text to 3D generator that's just, well, blown up. 17 million downloads apparently, and the pitch, it's incredibly seductive, isn't it? Flawless dragons, no need to even touch Blender, replaces weeks of work in like 60 seconds.
Right, it sounds amazing, like the ultimate democratization of 3D modeling, which is exactly why our mission here is to look past those really polished demos.
Yeah.
We need to dig into what the user data actually says and figure out, does this tool really open up 3D for everyone? Or is it maybe just useful for a specific niche?
Yeah, the marketing is strong. Text to 3D, image to 3D, automatic texturing, and they claim assets are ready to just drop straight into Unity. The speed, that's the real hook.
But here's where reality bites pretty quickly, especially if you're new. That free plan, it gives you 200 monthly credits. Sounds okay at first, but then you see each decent generation cost maybe 50, even 80 credits.
Oh, wow.
So you're talking, what, maybe 6 tries, 6 models before you hit a hard paywall?
Right, so that rapid prototyping promise gets expensive really fast. And if you look at the subscriptions, like $20 for 1,000 credits or $60 for 4,000, serious projects will just burn through those credits way faster than you'd think.
Exactly. The speed is there, but the cost structure, it's kind of brutal. And that leads right into this dramatic split we found in user experiences. It's really night and day.
Okay, tell me about that.
Well, on one side, you have the success stories. We saw reports from indie developers calling it a breakthrough. One solo dev apparently built an entire surreal platformer using just AI assets from Meshy. Others made whole game biomes in hours.
Hours. That's incredible for a solo person.
For hobbyists, for rapid concepting,
Yeah.
yeah, it seems revolutionary.
But then there's the other side, the professional skepticism, which is honestly pretty stark considering those success stories. We found this independent agency, they spent over $1,000 testing Meshy.
$1,000? Wow.
Yeah, and they called it a, quote, complete failure. They said the cleanup time was basically the same as their normal 3D workflows. So effectively, they paid about $1 per generation just to fix the models Meshy made.
Okay, that's a serious red flag for production work. $1,000 to find out it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And the specific examples they gave, these are classic AI problems, aren't they? Things like consistently flawed geometry, textures just full of artifacts when you look closely, especially high res. The models kind of fall apart.
Right, and forget complex rigging. They mentioned characters ending up with two tails.
Two tails.
Yeah.
Yeah, typical generative weirdness.
So let's drill into those technical problems sources mention, because they seem pretty major.
They are. You've got polygon counts that swing wildly, which is a headache for optimization, and critically, really poor UV unwrapping.
Okay, for listeners maybe new to 3D, UV unwrapping is like flattening the model's skin so you can paint textures on it cleanly.
Exactly. And if that map is bad, you get horrible texture stretching and distortion. It just looks wrong.
And it sounds like animation is a whole other problem area. Wigging, making the model actually movable, was called terrible.
Especially for things like quadrupeds, four-legged animals. Getting those to move right is complex, and it sounds like Meshy struggles badly there. This is a huge blocker if you want assets to actually do anything in a game or animation.
So usability is limited.
And what really stands out is the inconsistency. Quality control is, well, lacking. You're essentially gambling those expensive credits because the same prompt can give you vastly different results.
Oh, and failed outputs don't get refunded.
Nope. You pay for the attempt, good or bad. We even saw examples using image to 3D, like feeding it a photo of an ox, and it generated a model with 5 legs. Fundamental anatomical errors.
5 legs. Okay, so what's the bottom line here? For you, the listener, trying to figure this out, I think we have to state the brutal truth. Meshy seems brilliant for certain things. Concept visualization, rapid prototyping, maybe background props in stylized indie games where, perfect realism isn't the goal and a bit of weirdness is okay.
Yeah, for that exploratory phase, the speed is definitely real. You can get ideas out fast. But connecting it back to professional use, it really underdelivers for production quality. If you're on a deadline, needing reliable, clean assets, the required cleanup makes it unreliable.
So it's not quite the magic bullet.
Not for high-end production. And it's important to remember, there are free local options now, too. Things using models like Hunyuan 3D, which you can run yourself without paying per model. They can often give you comparable, or sometimes even better, starting meshes.
Right. So that's the key takeaway, I think. Meshy does lower the barrier for hobbyists, for quick concepts. The free tier is absolutely worth playing with. But expecting professional, ready-to-go assets, from that expensive subscription, that seems to be where those $1,000 failures happen. It's not replacing skilled artists yet.
Definitely not replacing them. It's maybe a tool for initial concepts for those artists, which, raises a really interesting question for the future. If AI can now automate creating, say, entire game environments or tons of background stuff for a solo dev, what kind of skills become super valuable next? Is it going to be specialized post-processing,
Yeah.
optimization, that final cleanup and polish? Where does the human value shift?